Well, many of us look at our cars as an office on wheels, a home away from home. But did you ever consider your car could be a rolling data center? Well, joining us to talk about how driving habits are being tracked and potentially used against you, let's welcome back Gus Anastopoulo, attorney and owner of the Gus Anastopoulo law firm. Happy to have you back.
Thank you for having me, Layla.
Yeah, you know, this is shocking to me. I think this is really important because people are buying new cars every single day. And who would have ever thought that your personal information, like driving habits, are being recorded?
Absolutely, Layla. You know, folks are being tracked, they're being priced, and they're being scored based off of their driving habits. And again, the most alarming problem, like you mentioned, people don't know it. So typically the way it works, you go to your dealership, you buy a new car, and as you're going through that and you're getting your car set up, you just want to get your phone connected to the new system.
Yeah.
In that, you hit accept, and without even knowing it, you've just decided and agreed to share all your data with companies you probably have never heard of, and then it makes its way back to the insurance company.
So these are data brokers that take in the information and then they sell it to, what, insurance companies?
Right, and so there's sort of like the mystery middlemen in there. So the way it works is the data will go back to the car manufacturer. Car manufacturers will sell it off to these middlemen, these data brokers. The biggest one is LexisNexis, who then they will sell it off to these insurance companies. And they do this, in these reports, they will give you what's called a risk score. And so that's what they'll use in considering whether they are going to raise your rates or deny you coverage.
So what are they tracking exactly?
Everything. They're tracking your driving habits, where you're going, whether you drive at night, acceleration, turns. Take GM's OnStar Smart Driver, for example, is tracking every single turn, acceleration rate, brakes. I mean, 2 months.
How you brake your car?
How you brake your car, Layla. And so you'll be driving for 2 weeks, and then you've got a 300-page report on your driving habits.
If this is not an incentive and an endorsement for buying older cars, I don't know what is. So are there certain car makers that are doing this versus others, or are all of them doing it across the board?
You know, there are certain ones that have been reported that have been confirmed, GM, Mitsubishi, and several others. You know, this is more of a trend that's taking place on modern vehicles, you know, 2020 and beyond. But you know, as we continue, you know, I'd imagine other manufacturers are going to follow their lead.
Well, so when you do buy a new car, obviously, if you want to use the Bluetooth capabilities, you would like to hook up your phone, and so that is how the information. So there's nothing built into the actual car itself that is sort of tracking and sending up to a satellite that's, you know,
right,
kind of triangulating and putting you in this matrix of
information. Absolutely. And so you know, and that's sort of the way that the insurance company manufacturers will disguise it. It is you want to be able to use the safety features, the driver assistance, the 911, all of that. But you know, privacy and safety are not mutually exclusive. And so you know, when you do decide you want to use those features that come with your car, and connect your phone, you're ultimately authorizing to share your data with those brokers. You know, there are certain states that have adopted consumer rights and protections to allow them to withdraw, much like you do with apps. But cars, it doesn't operate the same way in every state.
Right, and so are there any states currently that are protecting consumers?
Colorado is one. There's several others.
Okay.
But you know, it's more.
South Carolina.
South Carolina is not one of those states, and so you know, it's more about being informed than being paranoid, right? and so ultimately, these features do have some positive capabilities, such as the telematics. You know, the telematics, it's able to track real-time braking in the moments leading up to an accident, for example, with timestamp data. Help explain how the accident happened. We talked about roadside assistance a moment ago. Those are two helpful examples. But again, you know, when safety and privacy, other countries have found ways to, you know, keep those separate, you know, maintain those. but that, you know, without having to authorize your manufacturer to sell your data to an insurance company, you know, seems silly.
So incredible. Gus Anastopoulo, thank you so much for joining
Layla,
us.
thanks
For
for having
anybody who
me.
wants more information or who needs your services, where should they go?
They should go to our website, guslawsc.com, or they can call our office, 843-310-5555.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Layla.
We'll be back after this.